Please start, sir.
Okay, let us start the class. Last class, we have completed that iOS backup and restore. Today, we're gonna discuss how to backup the configuration. Okay. See, once you install the router, you would be doing the configuration. Okay, you'll be configuring routing protocols or whatever configuration you need, interface configurations. So everything you will be configuring. And if you need to back up that configuration, we have an option to do the backup. Like yesterday, we did the iOS backup and restore. Today, we're gonna discuss backup and restore of configuration. So let us directly go to the lab, open Cisco Packet Tracer. Take a router. And I'll be taking a server where I enable the TFTP service. Yesterday we have seen all those things. Today also we need that same step. Okay, I took one server and I'll be enabling the TFTP service in this server. Okay, connect router with this server and enable services. Go to services, TFTP, and you have to enable the TFTP service first. Now you have to configure the IP address on this
Your
device.
screen is not visible,
Screen already shared.
but not visible for me.
You cannot see that.
No.
Let me stop it. And is it okay now?
Yeah, now okay. Now it's
Okay,
fine.
so let us configure the interface of this router and the server. First, configure the IP address on gigabyte 0/0 interface and configure the same network IP on the server also. Okay, go to CLI mode, enable config T interface gig 0/0, make it no shutdown, make it up the interface by using the command now shutdown. Your interface will be getting up and you have to provide the IP address. I'm providing 10.1.1.1 IP exit. Now open the server and go to desktop. Here also use the same range IP 10.1.1.2 255 255 255.0. Now let us check the connectivity. Verify the connectivity between each other. It's working, it's pinging now. You are getting the reply from here also. You have to check the connectivity 10.1.1.2. It is also working. Okay. Now, what I am going to do, I am going to back up the configuration. Imagine that you did a lot of configurations. You did routing protocols configuration. You did access list. You did some NAT configuration. So everything you did, and you need to take this backup. That is your wish. So how you can take the backup? Simple command. Yesterday we have seen that same step. Copy. Yesterday we have copy the iOS from flash memory, right? Copy iOS, not from copy command will not be working from configuration mode. You have to go back one step. Okay. You have to go one step back. Now you are in privilege mode. From here, you can copy. Yesterday we copy from flash because iOS is located on flash memory. Now you are going to or take the or back up the configurations, right? From where is configuration lies? It lies in NVRAM. We know that. So just want to copy. NVRAM means what is the command to find the configuration which is present in NVRAM. The command is startup configuration. Okay, startup config means it's you are going to copy the configuration from NVRAM, which means this command means copy startup config means you are going to copy the commands, or sorry, you are going to copy the configuration from NVRAM. Where to copy? Next, after space, you have to specify the destination where you want to save this backup. So let me do this backup to TFTP server. So I'll be specifying the command TFTP and I'll be press enter. Okay. Non-val or not present. What? TFTP. Non-volatile configuration invalid or not present. Okay, you have to see now if you check show startup config, you didn't save anything, right? Once you save, your file would be saved in NVRAM. So till now, I didn't save anything. I have configured the interface, but I didn't save. First, you have to save the file, write memory, or you can use copy running space startup. Copy running config space startup config, or you can use the command write memory. Okay, either you can use this or you can use write memory. Both are doing the same function. Okay, write memory. Now your configuration has been saved to NVRAM. If you want to check it, show startup config. Yes, configuration is there. Let me do the backup right now. Copy startup to our TFTP. So it is asking you the IP address of the remote host, or else you can say that IP address of the TFTP server. What is the IP address I have been assigned to TFTP server? That is 10.1.1.2. Okay. Now it's asking the file name, destination file name. By default, it will be getting saved in the name router-config. If you want to change this name, you can change to some name, or else if you want to use the same name, no problem. Just press the enter keyword. Okay. Otherwise, okay, let me have some name here. Like I'm going to back up the configuration, right? Backup-config. Now enter. You can see that writing startup config, okay, this much bytes or data has been saved, no problem. So your configuration has been copied to the TFTP server. How to check that? Open this server, go to this service TFTP, and you will have backup-config. Where is that? Backup-config. See, this is the backup configuration, backup-config. So this is how you can make a backup of your configurations, which is stored in NVRAM. Okay, you just want to use the command copy startup config, then where you want to save. Here it is TFTP server. So you have to give that command TFTP. This is how you can make the backup. Now imagine that you need to restore this backup configuration from TFTP server to router. So there is a slight difference in the commands, no more. So we can check it out. What is the difference between this backup and restore commands? Okay, how to restore that? The command is again copy. Now our source is TFTP server. We are going to take that backup from TFTP server to tour to environ, right? So before that, okay, before that, okay, no problem. If I remove that IP address, I cannot. Get it? Okay. What I do now? Okay. So I will interface brief 0 bar 1. Okay. Interface 0 bar 1. I'm going to not use that. I'm going to configure the interface G01 also. Here I didn't connect any cable to that jig 0 bar 1. I just doing the configuration. And I'm making that IP address like 10.1.2.100 255 255.255 IP. So I did that configuration, right? Now shut down. Now, if you check that, okay, do this write memory also. Now, if you check the short store startup memory, you can find that, sorry, startup config. You can find two interface has been configured, jig 0 bar 1 and jig 0 bar 2. Imagine that this configuration, I made it wrongly. Okay, this is wrong configuration. I want to remove that, or I want to take that previous configuration. Means I already take the backup of previous configuration. This is the configuration which I made some mistake here. You will realize that mistake. Okay. When you realized that mistake, you just think that you have to restore the previous configuration. Okay. So how you can? Now you are having IP address on both interface. You check it out. Both interface, you have the IP address, right? Once you restore the previous configuration, you won't be having two interface configuration. You will see only this interface configuration, the first interface, jig 0 bar 0. Okay, then you can verify that, okay, restore has been complete. Okay. Now, already how to restore from TFTP? Use the command copy. Now source is TFTP server, TFTP. Destination is NVRAM, startup config. Then enter. Address or name of remote host. IP address of the remote host is 10.1.1.2. Enter. So asking the file name. You have to remember the file name, or else you need to check it out before you give the name. Right now, let me go to TFTP server. And name is backup-config. Okay. Backup-config. Backup-config. This is the name. Enter it. Or it is asking, do you want to change the name when it's saved to startup config or environ? If I don't want to change the name, I can just press the enter key. Otherwise, if you want to change the name, you can. Right now, I'm not going to change the name. I would be pressing the key enter. Okay, you can see that it's copy. Okay, if I check right now, so startup config, see, there is only one interface configured. This interface was configured by mistake, but right now I have restored the previous configuration and that configuration has been removed. See? You can feel the difference, you can see the difference, or else I can show you that on top. See here, you had the other configuration also, but right now I have restored that configuration is not there. This configuration is not there. So this is how you can backup and restore the configuration files. Okay. So we can, if you have doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we can move to next topic. Sorry. Okay. Now, next topic is DNS. Okay. What is DNS? It's domain name system. Okay. Why do we need the DNS? What is the requirement of DNS? See, you know that in modern world, see, there are billions of websites available in the internet or in public or in this world. So each and every website would be having a public IP also. That also we know that. We know what is public and private. We have seen that difference. We have discussed that topic. Okay, right now what I'm saying is like in internet we will be having a billions of websites. Okay, and each and every website would be having the IP address. Do you think that human can store the IP address, each and every IP address of website in our mind? No, it's not possible. Even if somebody asks you what is the IP address of Google, we cannot say that. What is the public IP of Google? If somebody imagine that if somebody asks you. So I cannot say that. I don't know about your you also, I think you cannot remember those IP address. Okay. Anyway, even maybe you know the single IP address of Google, but what about Facebook? Do you know this IP address? What about YouTube? Do you know the public IP of YouTube? What about the Yahoo? What about Info? What about ClickBoost? There are so many websites, but no one can remember the IP address of this website. If I want to, obviously, I'll be checking the internet. I'll be asking to internet what is the IP address of Google, what is the public IP of Google. I don't know that. Okay. Really, I don't know that. What is the public IP of Google? But I know the Google DNS, that is 8.8.8. This is global DNS. It's saying the DNS IP. I'm not asking the DNS IP. I am asking the IPv4 address of Google. Public IP version 4. Showing the DNS IP. See here, you can see certain IP address are there. While you can reach Google's home page using order. This is the Google public IP. So I cannot remember these IP addresses. But human cannot remember the IP address. But the problem is device can only remember the IP address. But human cannot remember the IP address. Human can only remember the names. See, names we can remember. Even you see, check this like everybody would be having the mobile phone and you will be having contact list and so many contacts would be there. But if anybody asks you like what is the mobile number of this guy, that guy, you have to check that guy from your contact list. Otherwise, you cannot say that. See, even someone asks you what is your mother's mobile number or father's mobile number, maybe you'll be having a doubt. You will be checking that contact list and you can say that. But from contact list, you can easily search the name, right? your name, sister name, whatever, you can easily find out that, and you will be checking the number. Here, same thing, like, website, okay, there would be a name. Why do we have the name for the website? Because human can remember only the name. That is why uh, there would be a name for each and every website. But device cannot communicate with the name. Device can only communicate with the IP address. Okay, every website or web server would be having a unique IP address. Okay, that IP address would not be available for any other website. That would be specifically for that website. Okay, so but human cannot store that IP address in their mind. Human can only remember that website name. For example, Google, Facebook, YouTube, we can remember that. We cannot remember the website IP address. So there would be some connection between the name and IP address, right? Because human can remember this name, but the device can remember the number, like 11.1.1.100, 22.1.1.200, or 100.11.11.222. This is the IP address would be looking like this, and name would be like this. Okay, this human can remember. This is device can remember. So there should be having some connection between this human mind and device mind. That is what DNS is doing. Because if you want to have the communication, or if you want to access a website, the device need to get the IP address of the website. Here, this is the device. And imagine that, okay, let me delete these things. Let me have a network here, like we have a switch. Staff or users are sitting here. Gateway.
Your voice is
Which
breaking.
is a router here.
It's not audible. Faisal, it's not audible.
Sorry guys, it has disconnected. So let me share the screen again. Okay. Okay, now this is the network. Now see, here this device this user will open the web browser, and he will be typing the website name www.google.com. Okay, so what will happen? I told you that device doesn't know about this name. So someone should be there to convert this name into IP address. So who is responsible to do that? That is what DNS does. Okay, DNS, it's a protocol, and protocol number is, port number of this DNS is 53. And this guy will take the responsibility to convert this name into IP address. How they do that? See, in public, there would be a DNS server. DNS server. It can be anywhere, located anywhere. Okay, and in that DNS server, there would be name and corresponding IP address. So I can redraw this. Imagine this is the DNS server which is located in public. So in this DNS server, there would be a lot of records. Billions of website records would be there in DNS server. Okay, normally DNS server would be Windows operating would be working on Windows operating system. Anyway, you don't want to go in deep related to this DNS server. So what are all information would be there in DNS server? DNS server will be having the information of website name and corresponding IP address. Like, there would be www.google.com. Then what is the IP address? Imagine that just imagine that this is not the right IP which I am providing now. I just guessing some IP here, or I just make some samples. Okay, for example, like I'll be giving an IP to google.com, www.1.1.1, then to youtube.com, 2.2.2.2, then to facebook.com, 3.3.3.3, then www.clickinfo.com, 4.4.4.4. It's an assumption, not a correct one. Okay, so DNS server would be like that. There would be a records of website name and corresponding public IPs. Okay, now what will happen? In this device, all the device you would be specifying the DNS server IP. Like imagine this DNS server IP is 8.8.8.8. So where you specify the DNS server IP in your device, I'll show you in my laptop. ncpa.cpl. So if you can see here, I didn't connect the cable. That is why it's showing a cross mark. Here, you have an option. Use the following DNS server. You have to specify the DNS server. Okay, you can, I can show you my Wi-Fi adapter. This is my Wi-Fi adapter. And if I check the status, then details, you can see the DNS server. See, this is the DNS server in my Wi-Fi network. So it is, I think, my internet service provider also, there would be having their own DNS server. That is what it is showing here. Okay, if you are providing the IP address manually, you have to specify the DNS server IP. Otherwise, you cannot access the internet. Okay, if DNS server is not there, you will never access the internet. You cannot access the internet. So you have to specify the DNS server. If you are connected to a Wi-Fi router, that Wi-Fi router will provide you the DNS server IP. That is what I just shown you. Okay, like here also you can use the command prompt and type ipconfig ipconfig space /all. You can see the DNS server IP. So this is my internet service provider DNS IP. No problem. Whatever DNS server IP you are using, it doesn't matter. But the problem is you have to use the DNS server. Okay. It can be Google DNS server, or it can be your internet service provider DNS server. Okay, no problem. Whatever it is, but the thing is, in your device, DNS server IP should be there to access the internet. So I'll be
By default, sorry, 1 minute. Can I interrupt? By default, it will be automatically assigned. Yeah, right. Some cases, like working in the company, we have to.
Yeah, if your network adapter is in DHCP mode, your DHCP server will be providing you the DNS server IP. If you are not getting the IP, or if there is no DHCP server, you have to specify the IP manually. At that time, you have to specify DNS server also manually. Okay. Without that,
So in the case, At which case we have to provide manually?
Hmm.
Can you explain that one? Which case
Yeah.
when it will happen manually we wanted to assign?
Sorry, background noise is there. 1 second. Tell me now.
Which scenario we have to assign manually? Can you
If there
explain
is no
that?
DHCP server, you have to assign. If in your network, if there is no DHCP server is available, you have to assign the IP address manually.
It will be automatically by default. It will be taken, right?
Automatically means there is DHCP server. That is why you are getting automatically. If there is no DNS server, you will never get the IP address automatically. Why you are getting the IP automatically? Because even my laptop, you can see that it is connected to Wi-Fi. So in my router, Wi-Fi router, already DHCP service is enabled. That is why I'm getting the IP. If I disable that DHCP service from my Wi-Fi router, from my home Wi-Fi router, I will not get the IP address from router. It will not provide you the IP address because you already disabled that. So in your network, if there is no DHCP server, you have to assign the IP address manually. If there is DHCP server, no problem. It will provide you IP address. If you set that DNS in DHCP server, it will provide you the DNS server IP also. Okay, so
Suppose if you are providing the IP address to your router, okay, a router will be automatically take the DNS server, yeah, right?
if there is DNS server inside the DHCP configuration, we have a topic related to DHCP. So when we take that, you will be getting more clarifying that. Okay, in that DHCP configuration, if you specify the DNS IP, your Wi-Fi router will automatically provide you the DNS server IP. Okay, that you can understand when we take that DHCP topic. Okay, so what I'm saying is if there is no DHCP server in your network, you have to assign the address manually. That's all. Okay, whatever you are getting
In
DHCP.
router, we can, there is any option to router, we can give the DNS? No, no need to
Router,
give in router, we can give the DNS server, the IP, DNS server IP.
if router need the internet connection means see all that traffic is going through the router only. You can specify the option to specify the DNS server inside the router also. Like if you want to update that router iOS, so that see if you want to connect internet directly to the router, like to update the iOS software, you have to specify the DNS server inside the router also. So what is the intention of this DNS server is means
So, okay,
want
so
internet connection wherever you need internet connection, even firewall also, if you want to communicate with the internet with that firewall need that DNS server. Everywhere,
okay.
every device need the DNS server IP to communicate with the internet.
So,
Okay.
okay. That topic, see, one more thing. DNS, we can update the router iOS directly from internet.
Internet, or you can update through
Host, you already show the
USB.
host from the server or like using like interface, yeah, right?
No, I'm saying about like not office router. That is what if you want to update the iOS directly from internet also, you can do that if there is internet connection in your router. That is what I said. Means if you want to update automatically, you have to use that DNS server IP. Okay.
Okay,
Otherwise,
okay.
in firewall there is a direct option. You don't want to upload that router. You don't want to upload the configuration, or you don't want to back up the configuration to TFTP and restore that from TFTP. There is an option in firewall that it will directly download the file from internet and update the software automatically. There is an option in firewall. Okay, but router also, if you can connect the internet, I am not saying about like uploading that file in router through internet, but if you want to connect that router to the internet, you can have an option. You just want to provide the DNS server. But in firewall, even you can update the software also from the firewall. You don't want to use the TFTP server, or you don't want to use the USB cable. By using USB cable also, even in your router, you can update the software, or you can in your firewall also you can update the software. But without that device, or without that USB, or without the TFTP server in firewall, there is an option to update the iOS software directly from the internet. For that, you need to provide DNS server. Firewall need to access the internet. That is what I am saying. If device need to access the internet, whatever device it is, it can be firewall, it can be router, it can be Windows. Every device need the DNS server IP. Without that DNS server IP, no device can access the internet. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay,
Now I got it.
so right
Okay,
now,
thank you.
see here we have that this device. When it open the browser, it will type the name. Okay, this is the device. You are the one who is handling this device. Imagine that. And you open the browser and you type www.google.com. So this device, first of all, this device will check what is the DNS server IP. The first step, the device will check it out, the DNS server IP. Okay, when this device check the DNS server IP, it can find out that DNS server, you already specify the DNS server IP in this device, and it is what? 8.8.8.8. So this device will be generating a query first. What query? DNS query. And what contents would be there in DNS query? It would be there like it's asking this W, the name would be there, and it need the IP address of this name. That is the query, DNS query generated from this device. Imagine that you didn't specify this IP, your traffic will be getting dropped from here. You will not get access, you cannot access the internet. Okay, now you have the DNS server IP and it is 8.8.8, and DNS protocol will generate a DNS query now, and that DNS query, it would be generated at layer 7, and that query who is generating this DNS, and at layer 6 and layer 5, 4, okay, so 4, it would be adding the port number, like what would be the port number for this. Imagine source will be a random port number, and destination, what is the port number of DNS? 53. And layer 3, it will be adding the IP address. What is the source IP? Imagine this is 10.1.1.1, this device IP 10.1.1.1, and destination IP is DNS server IP. Okay, 8.8.8.8. Now traffic, these are different network. If that IP version 4 protocol sees that, okay, both are different network, it would be sending the traffic to gateway. Gateway is used for what? Or router is used for what? To communicate with different network, right? Here both are different network. So traffic would be sending here through this switch. Through this switch, traffic would be sending to this router, and router will be checking. Okay, already imagine that routes are there, already routing protocol has been configured. You don't want to think more about this, because we did not start to study the routing protocols and routes and all. Even router we didn't study till now. So don't worry about that. Imagine that, okay, already the traffic reached at the router, and the destination is 8.8.8.8, and imagine that path is already there to go to this network, and router will forward this packet to the internet, and then to this ISP. This ISP, already DNS server is connected. Okay, DNS server IP is what? 8.8.8.8, 8.8. Sorry guys. Okay. Okay, so see, DNS or traffic would be now in the router. From router it would be sending to this internet service provider, then to this, because our DNS server is located on this ISP. Now the traffic would be sending here, because DNS server IP is what? 8.8.8. 8.8.8.8 network is where in which ISP? In this ISP. So traffic will be redirecting to this DNS server. Now, okay, this server got the query, and in that query, what it is asking, what is the IP address of www.google.com. You type www.google.com from here. That would be available in the query. Okay. Now it will match the records. Okay, www.google.com. Okay, there is a record www.google.com and IP address of this website name or website is 1.1.1.1. Now this DNS server will give a DNS query reply. Okay, it will reply to this DNS query, and in that reply, this IP address would be there again. Okay, it will be added that port numbers, like source port is what? Now DNS server is sending back the reply. So source port is 53 and destination would be, what is the port number when it sends to this server? 1024. Okay, it would be sending to back to 1024, and IP address is source is 8.8.8. DNS server is sending back now. Source is this device IP, destination is this device IP. Now this will be sending to this ISP, then to this router. Finally, it would be reaching here. And now your device got the DNS reply, and in that reply, it can find out the IP address of google.com. 1.1.1.1 is the IP address. Now this device can directly communicate to the 1.1. Okay, already name resolved to IP address right now. This DNS helps to find the IP address of www.google.com. Okay, it has found that, and it got the IP 1.1.1. Now it will be directly HTTP request would be generated. Now IP address got right. Now it will generate the HTTP request, okay, to google.com. How it will be like, I can show you that HTTP will generate a request. Imagine it's an HTTP request generated at layer 7. Now it will be hand over to layer 6, where it encrypt that request. You know that SSL will encrypt. Now it would be at layer 4. What will happen? Source port would be there, and destination port also will be 443. Yes, 443 also would be there. That would be the destination port number. Now at layer 3, it will add the IP address. What is the source IP now? Which is 10.1.1.1. Destination is now what? Already device got the IP address of Google, right? 1.1.1.1. Now the traffic will be sending to 1.1.1. Okay, again this traffic will be directed to router gateway, and here already routes would be there. Okay, now it would be sending to this ISP. Now to this ISP, Google is here, 1.1.1 is located here. Now to this ISP, now to this Google. It will be replying back. Okay, so your device will be providing you the web page. This is how DNS is working. If you have any doubts related to this theory, you can ask. We are going to do the lab of DNS server right now. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can start doing lab. Okay, let us start the lab right now. But I am not going to use the same network because I told you that we didn't study routing and also even we use this network, we will have to do a lot of routings protocol. We have to use the routing protocol, so you will not understand. So I'll be taking a simple network, my network would be like this. I'll be having a switch and I'll be having some devices, and each device will have what? IP address. And each and every device I'll be providing a name also in the DNS server. Like I'll be having a DNS server, I'll be connecting a DNS server here, and I'll be doing what? Here I'll provide an IP address, same network IP, because all are connected to a single switch. We didn't study router till now, so we use the switch only, same network. So I'll be providing the DNS server IP 10.1.1.100 and records like 10.1.1.1. I'll be saying that this is a google.com, and 10.1.1.2 I would be saying that this is youtube.com. 10.1.1.3 I would be saying that this is facebook.com. Okay, now when I communicate from here, ping space www.google.com, it has to be communicated. But if you want to communicate by using the name, you have to specify the DNS server in all the device. Here also you have to specify DNS server. Here also DNS server you have to specify. Who is the DNS server? 10.1.1.100. Without this, your traffic will not go outside from here. It will get dropped. Okay, I'll be showing you that. Now, let us show that. Okay. Open the packet tracer. Two 2960 laptop. Let me take the server, DNS server also. Okay, connect the devices by using the cable. So configure the IP address 10.1.1.1 and 255.255.255.0. Here also configure the IP address 10.1.1.2 255.255.255.0. Okay. here configure the IP 10.1.1.3 255.255.255.0. Okay, now let me configure the IP address on this server. Desktop IP 10.1.1.100 255.255.255.0. Okay. So try to communicate by using the IP address and verify the connectivity first with the server, DNS server. Okay, what is the IP address of DNS server? 100. Okay. It's working. Connection is there. You can see that. So right now what I will do, I'll be adding the DNS records. Go to service. See, open the server. Go to service, then DNS. Then DNS service should be on. And here you have to specify the name and corresponding address. So for 10.1.1, I'll be saying that it is a Google, www.google.com. What is the address of this Google? 10.1.1.1. Now you have to add, see, www.google.com. Who is www.google.com? 10.1.1.1. Now go to, go to this DNS. Next one, www.youtube.com. What is the IP address of YouTube? Again, 10.1.1.2. Add. Now YouTube server IP is 10.1.1.2. Again, you have to add Facebook. Just I am giving a name to corresponding IP, right? It's imagination. It's not a real IP of Facebook. Okay. I just want to show how this DNS server is working. DNS is working. So I have a records of Facebook and the corresponding IP to this facebook.com is 10.1.1.3, and for Google is 10.1.1.1, and for YouTube is 10.1.1.2. Now, when you ping by using C, from here, when I ping to 10.1.1.2, it's working, right? It's working. But who is the name of this 10.1.1.2 is what? youtube.com. So when I ping by using the name also, it should work, right? YouTube, because you already configured the DNS server. But it is saying that ping request could not find host. Please check the name and try again. This is why, because you didn't configure the DNS server IP. I told you that without that DNS server, you cannot communicate with by using the name. So let me specify the DNS server IP here. Who is the server? DNS server here 10.1.1.100. Okay. Now, even by using the name, this device can communicate. Can check it out. See, it will resolve that name to IP 10.1.1.2. It's a YouTube IP, right? If you check here, 10.1.1.2, it's a YouTube. So it will send a DNS query. How it is working? I already explained that the same way, like, this device, this is the device. From where? I think from here. Okay, this guy will send a DNS query. In that query, it would be asking the IP address of youtube.com, and this server will be providing the DNS reply, and in that reply, it would be saying that 10.1.1.2 is the IP address of YouTube. Now this device would be directly send the traffic to 10.1.1.2 and it will be replying back. So you'll be getting a reply from 10.1.1.2. That is what it is showing here. Reply from 10.1.1.2. See, reply from 10.1.1.2. Or if you want to check ping space www.facebook.com. See, it is saying that reply is coming from 10.1.1.3. Who is 10.1.1.3? 10.1.1.3 is Facebook. See? Okay, so if you didn't specify the DNS server, it will not send. Here I didn't specify the here on this device and this device, I didn't specify the DNS. You can check it out. No DNS. Okay. Let me check the connectivity by using the name right now. Ping space www.google.com. See, it's saying that ping request could not find host. Why? Because it didn't specify the DNS server. Okay, let me specify the DNS server and check it out again. 10.1.1.100. Now you check it out. DNS server IP again. See, it's working. It's working. Okay. Uh, Yes, okay. This is how it is getting communicated by using the name also. Right now, see here in this device, I don't have the DNS server configuration. You can check it out. From here, if you try to communicate with the name by using like www.google.com, it will not work. Okay, you can see that ping request could not find the host. Here also you have to specify the DNS server IP like 10.1.1.100 is the DNS server IP, and you try to communicate with the Google right now, it will be getting communicated. See, reply is coming from 10.1.1.1. So this is how you can have the communication by using the name. Even ping space www.facebook.com, it will be working. Okay, it will be working 10.1.1.3. You are getting the reply, and for YouTube, you check that. So wherever you need to go, it will be working now. Why? Because DNS doing the jobs. DNS will convert the name into IP, and it will be sending the traffic directly to that IP. This is what happens in the internet also. When you browse certain website, first DNS query would be sending to the DNS server, then the traffic would be directly sending to the particular website. So imagine, I hope you got the concept related to the DNS. If you want to see the DNS packet, let me show that also by using my VMware. We open the EVNG. So right now the event is starting. Okay. uh, 1.10 HTTP 192.1.10. Now, right now, I'm going to show you how the DNS query would be look like. Okay, for that, I need to use a software like Wireshark and all. Okay, I have to use a virtualization software EVNG just for showing the DNS query packet how it looks like. Okay, this is not necessary from your side. Okay, so you don't want to check it out. I just want to show you how this packet would be. See, if you want to study more like CCNP and CCIE, you have to use this type of virtualization softwares and Wireshark to find the traffic, to check the traffic, to find out the packets. So let me show that packet. Admin is the username. Password is the okay. So let me configure a DNS here. DNS. DNS, DNS, then uh, same topology. Let me take a switch. The devices are mm, let me take three windows. This windows, like real windows, you can um do the configuration like how you do the configuration in real Windows device. The same way you can do the configuration here. It's a real device. It looks like a real device only. When you turned on, you can realize that. Okay, so let me connect these devices to the switch, and I need a DNS server also. So here I don't have an option like which is having in packet tracer. But here I'll be doing what? I'll take a router and I'll be making that router as a DNS server. We have an option to make router as a DNS server. Okay. So let me turn on the device. The same topology which you are doing right now. Okay, this is the topology in packet tracer. This is the topology in EVNG. Both the in packet tracer we have a symbol option to enable the DNS service, but in this setup you have to make the router as a DNS server. Okay, we just want to use some commands to make this router as a DNS server. So let me turn on the router first. It's asking, would you like to enter the initial configuration? No. Mhm. Okay, enable config team. Now you have to provide the IP address on this interface. Interface 𝗵𝗁𝗂𝗏 IP address is what? 10.1.1.100 space 255.255.255.0, then no shutdown. So if you need to make a router as a DNS server, you have to use the command IP DNS server. And there in packet tracer, we created some records, right? Like www.google.com and corresponding IP address. Here, if you want to create the records, you have to use. Here, if you want to create the records, you have to use, I think, IP host name. Host, you have to specify the host. Who is the host? For example, www.google.com. Then you have to specify the IP address of google.com 10.1.1.1. Then for Facebook and YouTube also, I'm creating www.youtube.com space 10.1.1.2. Then IP host www.facebook.com space 10.1.1.3. What is the IP I assigned to this interface? 100, right? Okay. Now it has a record now. 10.1.1.3 is Facebook, 1.2 is YouTube. Same way we configured in packet tracer. There is a slight difference in configuration, but concept is same. Everything is same. Now this router became a DNS server. Okay. Now, what should I do now? Okay, go to the Windows, configure the interface. 1, 2, 3. See, this is how I told you that it would be looks like a real Windows, right? It's a Windows 7. If you know how the Windows 7 is loading, the same way this guy is also loading. Okay, now you have to configure the interface or adapter, network adapter. You use the command ncpa.cpl. It will redirect to network adapter and you can assign the IP right now. 10.1.1.1. I would be assigning to this network adapter 10.1.1.1 255 255.255.0. Who is the DNS server? You have to specify the DNS server. Otherwise, it will not work with the name. Now, if you
DNS
check the
server is
connectivity,
100 only, right?
okay, here also you need to specify the IP. Windows 3, I'll be giving the IP address 10.1.1.2. And for Windows 4, I'll be assigning an IP 10.1.1.4. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
We are, sorry, Faisal, there is a confusion. Okay, I can ask. Faisal, can you hear me?
ncpa.cpl. Right click. Ten dot one dot one dot Windows 3, right? 1.2 255 255 255 dot 0 and DNS server IP is, what is the DNS server? 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot 100, right? What is the DNS server API provider for this network? Windows 2, I think it's 8 dot, right? So here, not 8 dot. Our DNS server in this network is what? 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot. We made the DNS server, right? We made the router as a DNS server. So Windows 2 also you configured, Windows 3 also you configured. Now Windows 4. 1, 2, 3. Again, the same command ncpa.cpl. Ten dot 1 dot 1 dot 3, right? 255, right? 255.0. Then DNS server IP is 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot 100. Okay. Now you can check the communication. First, you can check with the IP address ping space 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot 100. You are getting the reply, and 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot 1. Okay, it's not working because in this device, real device, firewall will be on. You have to turn off that firewall also to have the communication between the devices. Like just turn off this, turn off. I want to show you the DNS query packet. That is why I came here. Let me turn off this small Windows firewall. Turn Windows firewall on or off. Off this, off this. Go panel. Okay. Now if you check that, okay, you are getting the reply. Now by using the name also, you need to have the reply, right? You need to get the reply, google.com. So before that, let me capture the packet first. Capture by using the Wireshark. Okay, let me do something to enable the Wireshark. Now Wireshark is having some issues. I can solve it. See, by using putty. Let me give the IP address of EVNG. You don't want to have you don't want to worry about those things which I'm doing right now. This is not a part of CCNA. If you want to study more like CCNP, CCIE, and you have to check that packet flows and all, how the packet would be looks like. So right now, as a CCNA student, you don't want to do this. Okay, SSH. Okay, accept. Now your Wireshark would be working. Let me capture the interface again. Okay, capture. Okay, it's working now. All the traffic, you can see the traffic is going on. See, STP, all the traffics are growing. Right now, I'll be generating a DNS query. Okay, now I'm going to Windows 4 and I'll be using a command ping space www.google.com. So DNS query will be getting generated and you will be getting the reply. DNS, it's not showing the DNS query. See, 10.1.1.3, send a DNS query to 10.1.1.100. Okay, if you open this packet, see DNS query. This is the query generated at layer 7. Then it add the layer 4 header. Then it add the layer 3. I already explained in theory. Then it add the MAC address. Then it would be sending through the cable. Okay, in this DNS query, what contents would be there? The contents would be asking about Google IP. Okay, you can see here. I'll be showing you that queries. If you expand this query, see www.google.com. It is asking the IP address of google.com. Now, if you check the reply, this is the reply from 10.1.1.100, which means from DNS server. Open this again, domain name system response. Expand this, go below. You can see here answers. See, IP address is 10.1.1.1. This is how DNS is working. Okay. So you have seen the packet of. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask me right now. Otherwise, we can move to next topic. Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Right.
Hmm?
Yeah, good. It's
Oh,
clear.
sorry, my speaker
Can you
is
hear me?
off now. Okay, it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Now
So
let us.
one question I have to ask. Using Wireshark, I can, if I installed in my PC, I can capture the packet.
Sorry.
Using Wireshark, if I
Hmm.
install to my PC, I am using the real device. That time I can capture the packet.
Yeah, you can select the interface uh,
Mhm.
uh, through which your traffic is going out. For example, if your you connected through your LAN cable, so you have to select the LAN adapter. If you connected through Wi-Fi, you have to select the Wi-Fi. Okay. For
Okay,
example, right
okay.
now, if Wireshark, you can see here Wireshark. So when I open this Wireshark, you will be having lot of network adapter. If I need to see the traffic which is going through the Wi-Fi adapter, you just want to open this, see all the
Okay.
traffic which is going through the Wi-Fi router. Wireshark, it's a good tool to troubleshoot. To use, we can use this for troubleshooting purpose. Okay, now we can move to the next topic, that is Telnet. Okay, Telnet means why do we need this Telnet? Actually, Telnet is used to access network devices remotely. If I want to access a remote device from another location, you can do that by using the protocol Telnet. And there is one more protocol, SSH. Okay. And first, we need to study about this Telnet. Telnet, it uses the TCP port number 23. And by default, Telnet would be enabled on all the router. Okay, you don't want to enable it. By default, it will be enabled. And okay, here, okay, let me show you that. Okay, 1 second. For example, okay, this is my office. I'm sitting here in this office, and this office is located in Bangalore. And I'm having another branch which is located in Hyderabad. Okay, I need to access this router by sitting. This is imagine this is I am and I am sitting here and I want to access this router from here. Okay, so you know that we'll be having a connectivity. Without having connectivity, we cannot access. Okay, imagine that it's connected to Hyderabad ISP. This is connected to Bangalore ISP, and all the ISP will be interconnected. So connectivity is already there. You are going to access this router remotely from here, but you cannot access directly. You have to do a bit configuration in this router. Okay, what and all configuration you have to do? See, when we take the type of ports, there is interface ports and line port. And on that time, we said that line port is used for configuration purpose, like for remote configuration. Like one is console port. There are two type of line port: console port and VTY port. Console port is used for direct configuration. Like if you want to configure your router, you can take your laptop and you can connect a console cable to the console port of this router. Directly you have to connect it for console configuration. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to configure this device remotely by sitting here, you have to configure VTY port. That is what I am going to do here. I'll be configuring a VTY port, for example, line VTY. Okay, here you can specify 0, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. Okay, for 0 means now if you want,
VTY port means usually it is mentioned in router OX.
no, you cannot
OU,
see that
yeah.
port. It's a virtual port. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, if, for example, if only one user has to access this router, you have to imagine that you need to enable only on one router. Okay, means you have to access this router only from a particular device. You need to enable or you need to configure only one port. Okay, imagine your requirement is two users need to access this router. You have to configure two ports like 0 1. So port number 0 and port number 1 will be getting configured. If you need if the three user want to access the router at the same time, you have to configure three ports. 0 to 2 means 0 1 2 will be getting configured. So how you can configure? Just use the line VTY 0 single port. Then you have to specify like password. Just specify password, any password like CCNA. Then you use the command login. Okay, just configure these commands on this router, and now you can access this router by sitting here. Okay. So let me do it in the lab. I'll not take this network. I told you that I'll be taking a small network like here router would be here, then switch is here, then the users are sitting here. I'll be configuring the VTY port here, and I'll be accessing this router by sitting here by using Telnet. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So there are three ways to configure the telnet. Like if you does not want a password, you doesn't want a password, you can configure like this is the user sitting here and he would be trying to access this router. So imagine that this guy doesn't need a password to access the router. We have an option to configure telnet without the password. Okay, so how to do that? Just use the command without password. You can use it like what is that without password? Okay, so not this one. This one. Okay, without password, you just want to configure the line port and you can say that the command no login. Okay, I will be showing you in the lab, no problem. Open the packet tracer. Remove this topology. Let me take a router first. And take a switch 2960 and
Your
take
voice is too low, yeah.
sorry.
Your voice is like a little low. I can't hear.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So take the two users, two laptop here and three laptop, one more laptop I will be taking. Now connect the cable from laptop to switch. Here also from laptop to switch. From here. Now from switch to router. Okay. Now configure the IP address on all the device. After that, we can configure the telnet without password, with password, and with username and password. Okay. So how to configure the IP address? We know that. Just go to the router, then type enable, then config t, then interface 𝗲𝗔0/0. IP address is 10.1.1.100 and 255.255.255.0. Now shut down. Now configure the laptop also, desktop IP configuration 10.1.1.1, 255.255.255.0. Now go to this 10.1.1.2, 255.255.255.0. Then go to this device 10.1.1.3, sorry, 10.1.1.3, 255.255.255.0. Okay. So all the device you configured. Now let me check the connectivity first. Ping space 10.1.1.100. Okay, connectivity is the so we are going to configure the telnet without password. By default, telnet is enabled, I told you. So where you can configure the telnet, on which port? Line ports. On which line port? Console or VTY? VTY. So if I specify only one port, only one user can access this router at a time. You need two user at a time, 0 space 1. Three user at a time, 0 space 2 means 0, 1, port number 0, port number 1 and port number 2 will be open. Okay, so I have three device. Imagine my requirement is all the users has to access at a time. Otherwise, okay, if you need only one user, need to access this router at a time, specify like this. Now I don't want to use the password. I'll be saying that no login. And okay. Now you go here and type telnet 10.1.1.100. It's a router IP. Telnet space IP address of the router. See, your router is now it is accessed from this device. Okay. Now I'm going to the second device. Let me use telnet 10.1.1.100. See, saying that connection to foreign host refused, closed by foreign host. Why? Because I told you that here I configured only single port. So when this already this device connected to this router, okay, if this device he exits the connection, he already exit from the connection. Now other device can connect. See, so only one device can connect at a time. So now the problem is there is no password, right? Anybody can log in. The one who know the IP address, he can log in. This is not a security, right? Here, is there any security? No. The one who know the IP address of the router, that guy can connect to this router. No need password. We didn't set the password. So this is not a right way. So the next step is, our next method is we can configure the telnet by using the password. So how to do that? You have to, okay, go back. Again, let me configure line with 𝗲𝗁 and I would be saying that password CCNA and I'll be saying that before we specified no login. Now you have to specify login. Okay. Let me try again. Same command telnet space telnet 1.1.100. See, it's asking the password right now. So this is okay. You can access the router by using the password. There is a slight security is there. The one who know the password can only access this router. Okay, the one who doesn't know the password cannot access your router. But still, problem is there. What is the problem means? See, imagine that this guy, okay, access now. Imagine you configured multiple like ports. I configured VTY 1 and 2 ports also. At a time, 3 user can connect now. 0, 1, 2. Okay, I told you password CCNA. Then login. Okay, so this guy it's already logged in. Sorry, this guy is already logged in. So CCNA. This guy also logged in. This guy telnet 1.1.1.100 password asking, already logged in. This guy also logged in. But the problem is, imagine that, okay, all the users are using the same password. But imagine that this guy configured some misconfiguration. Okay, he did some misconfiguration. So he did, it is saying that enable. If you are accessing a device remotely, you have to set the password for this user mode. Otherwise, you cannot go to the privilege mode. See, this saying that no password set. Okay, let me set the enable password also. Enable password CCN. Okay, I set the password for enable. Now password is asking. Okay, now you are in privilege mode. You can configure whatever you need. Imagine that this guy did some misconfiguration, but the seniors or IT managers cannot realize who made the mistake because everyone is using the same password, right? We don't have multiple password option here. We don't have username here. The one who access this router, all are having the same password. So no one can realize that who made the mistake. So in order to avoid this problem, we have another option, that is with username and password. Everybody would be having a username, everybody would be having a password. So how we can configure that? Line _𝗏 again 0 to 3 or 2 or 4. So here here you will not specify the password. You say that login local. For if anybody want to connect with this router, uh, it is this command saying that when a request come to this router for authentication, just check the local database. Local database means router database. Password and username is available or not. So for that you have to create the username and password. For example, username ABC, password 123. I'll be creating another username XYZ, password 234, and I'll be creating another username PQR, password 345. Okay, so 3 users and password I made there. Let me disconnect this and again let me connect. See, it's asking the username now. ABC user is trying to log in. Now this guy, it's an XYZ user. So exit. Yeah, so he know his username only, XYZ. What is the password? 234. XYZ is the username and password is 234. Enter. This guy also can access the router. Okay, third router. He also will use his own username. What is the username? PQR, right? Password is 345, right? See, he also can. Now, if anybody made the mistake, we can, or the managers can easily realize that because everybody is having different username. So if there is any monitoring software like SolarWinds and all, it will be showing the username. This username made this configuration, this user made this configuration, like that. So they can easily identify who made the mistake. So we have seen 3 methods. One is without password, the first one, how the telnet is working. We have seen that. And the second one is what? With password, there is no username, but there is a problem. As I told you, it is very difficult to, not a difficult, no one can find out the uh, errors, or no one can find out the person who made the mistake. So to avoid this, we have third option, that is with username and password. So if you configure the telnet with username and password, the one who know the username and password can only access the router, and the team can easily identify who made the mistakes and all by using the monitoring softwares. Okay. So this is what telnet. But what is the port number telnet is using? That is 23 port number, and it's a TCP protocol, and it is used to connect the device or to access the device from a remote location. But the problem is, even though there is a security like username and password, problem is still there if you use the telnet. Now we can explain the problems. What kind of problems are there in telnet? For example, I told you that, okay, this is our office. We are sitting here and I am going to connect a router which is in Hyderabad location. Okay, this router I am going to access from here. So I told you, okay, even though you already configured different username, password, XYZ234 configured here. So you are trying to access that router by using the command telnet. For example, this is 11.1.1.1, telnet 11.1.1.1. Will be asking you the username. I'll be typing ABC123. Now the telnet request will be sending, and in that telnet request, username and password, this username and password will be traveling through this path in plain text. It is not encrypted. If you use telnet, the packet will not get encrypted. All the details would be in plain text. So imagine, you know that in ISP there would be a lot of routers and all. So, and also there would be a lot of engineers, IT engineers. Imagine someone connected his laptop to this router where your network is connected, and to this port, if he monitor this port by using the Wireshark, he can see your username and password ABC and 123. From where here also he can see. So it's traveling in plain text. Your traffic is not encrypted. That is the problem if you use telnet. So in companies and all, you will not be having the permission to configure the telnet. Why? Because the traffic would be travel in the form of plain text. Anybody can, if anybody capture your packet, he can directly see your username and password. That is the problem when you are using the telnet protocol. So even you use the telnet protocol in your company, there would be a cyber security team. They will check by using their own softwares, and that software can easily find out the problem, and they would be informing you to remove the telnet configuration immediately, because the software would be showing that it's a vulnerable protocol. Telnet, it's a vulnerable protocol. Why? Because it's travel in plain text. Anybody can see that username and password. If the hackers trying to access your traffic, he can easily find out the username and password which is available in that telnet request. Okay, that is why in companies and all, you will never use this protocol telnet. You will have another option, that is SSH. Okay, in companies and all, you have to use the protocol SSH. Okay, so SSH, we can check tomorrow. One more thing, I can show you that how the packet it's flowing in plain text by using the Wireshark. Let me show you that, and we can wind up. Okay. Take the another topology. Let me remove this. Turn off the device first. Request not valid. What happened? Delete. Select. Take a router and switch and the user. One user is enough. iOS router. Take a switch. IOL switch. Change the image to a switch image. Now take the Windows. Okay, let me connect by using the cable. Turn on the device. Okay. Just configure the router. Configure the interface 𝗵𝗁𝗶𝗂. Okay. Go to enable config t interface 𝗵𝗁𝗶𝗂. IP address 10.1.1.100.255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Let me configure the telnet. How to configure? Go to virtual terminal. Line VTY 0. Then I don't want to specify the password. I need to specify both username and password. Login local. Now create the username ABC. Password 123. Okay. Sorry. Now you go here and configure the Windows. Oh, it's a server. Let me remove this. Stop it. I don't need a server. I just need a Windows 7 PC. Let me delete this and take a Windows 7. Right click, node, Windows 7. Okay, save, connect to this. Turn off the switch first, then connect, then turn it on. Both the device you can turn on. Starts. Now you open the Windows. This starting Windows. Just configure the network adapter and connect by using Telnet and capture the packet. That's all. Okay. Provide the password 123. Then configure the network adapter by using 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃. Just provide the IP address. (10.1.1. What is the IP address I assigned for the router? 100, right? Okay. Now I'll be providing to the Windows 1.1. No, 255, 255, 255.0. Now CMD. But the problem here is I cannot use the telnet directly in Windows. You have to activate this protocol first. Telnet is not recognized. So you have to activate that protocol first. Go to control panel. Then where is that programs and features? Okay, programs and features. Then turn Windows features on or off. Then go down. You will see Telnet option. I'll be showing you Telnet. Telnet. See, just enable this Telnet client and server. Then okay. It would be enabled now. So now just capture the Telnet packet by using Wireshark. Okay, your Wireshark is ready to capture. Now I have to go back to the Windows. Okay, it's taking a bit time to enable that Telnet. Once it gets enabled, you can see. Okay, it's enabled. Now you can use telnet 10.1.1.100. It is asking the username ABC123. See, your router is accepted. So check that telnet packet. You search it telnet packet, telnet, and right click and follow TCP stream. See, password and username ABC. Password is 123. Showing ABBCC, but ABC, our password username is ABC. And from this we can identify ABC. One letter is repeating, that's all. ABC and password is 123. Okay. So this is the problem with the telnet. So no one can use this as it is a vulnerable protocol. In companies and all, you don't want to use the protocol telnet. Instead, you have to use which one? SSH. So next class, we can study SSH. It's a secure protocol. Before it is, before leaving the traffic from the device, all the traffic will be getting encrypted and sent to the destination. So no one can, even somebody trying to capture that traffic, SSH traffic, he cannot find the username and password as it is already encrypted form. Okay. So we can wind up today. If you have any.
Can I myself? Hello.
Mm.
Can I have your contact number?
My contact number
Yeah.
7019.
1 minute.
Okay, I can write here. 1 second. 7019. Otherwise, I think it's better to ask to the team. They will provide my number, no problem. The one who contacted, just ask him. He will be giving my number. Just ask him the trainer number and he can give you the number. I don't know, I can directly give my number or not because I'm working for them. So you can ask them and they will provide you the number and you can contact me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.